So I do like going into the Scream Vault, guys, but I do other things. Please give the other videos a chance. All right, so let's get to it. This isn't much of a revelation. I thought people knew this, but some people are still like, Stu coming back is too much. So I'll do the history lesson real quick. They were planning to bring Stu back for Scream 3. Matthew has talked about this. Go to behind the scenes stuff. They were thinking about it. Now, whether they would have pulled the trigger, we'll never know, but because of various political issues, they pulled back. I know. Scream has a lot of politics involved. I know. Deal with it. But let's jump into Scream 7. And yes, Kevin confirms they did shoot a different ending where Stu is alive. And ultimately decided not to do it. And this is really weird. Apparently, test audiences persuaded them it wasn't a good idea. And they wanted to keep it a little bit more realistic. But apparently, no. They did shoot enough scenes that Stu would be alive canonically. Was he killed off? Did he escape? Was he killed again? Don't know. But there we are. It's not fantasy. Kevin did confirm this. So people think like, oh, you Stu truthers, you Stews that, you're crazy. No, guys, good or bad, that's a legit story. Again, I'm not like super obsessed with Stu. We could do a Scream story without Stu, but I don't think they have too many cars left. So we're probably going to get Stu back with Scream 8 if they do it, but the probability is high they will do it. Now, is it all happy, joy, joy? No, it does create various problems and issues. Again, bringing him back is good in principle, but given what they did with Scream 7, it could be really stupid. It could be really lame. Now, I've seen the movie, so I can say the performance by Matthew, it's out there. It's out there, but I thought it was pretty good. I will say, though, the dialogue with him is a little weird, but I think that's meant to prove this is not real Stu. It's AI Stu. So I don't know if they reshot enough because they'd have to really tweak a lot of the scenes because it doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound like that's him. But that's my perspective. I will say, though, people have noticed some visual continuity issues. Like in some scenes, Matthew, again, AI Matthew, has a lot of scars. And other AI, right, videos, he does not have scars. But again, that's not a contradiction if he's alive. Right? He just recorded these things at different time points and is trying to bug Sydney. Also, you can have an AI based on yourself and it's responsive. So they got to have both ways that he's playing with them. He's alive, but he's using AI models to fool with them. Again, it does sound a little weird the way he's doing it. You would think the AI model would reproduce him really faithfully or exactly, but again, it's Stu. He's a bit of a joker. So the fact that his AI model is all over the place is just what it is. Obviously, if he's the killer at the end, the question is, did they keep Jessica? Did they keep all these killers? Because I thought there were 4, but apparently there are 3 killers in Scream 7. So what do we do with all those 3? Will Stu be behind all the killings? He had no help, no assistant? That seems a little bit of a stretch. So we're not clear, though, if Jessica stayed. The way Kevin worded it, it seemed implied Stu would return by himself. So presumably they shot a scene with Stu and Nev, but Jessica will not be revealed as the Ghostface. So there we are. Is this a better story? Well, the thing they had was not that strong. So I'm glad they didn't bring back Stu for this because I think they were promising a lot and it didn't deliver. So, and I think would have been a too weak a return. So I'm glad that hopefully they're going to save Stu for a better story. But at this point, like many fans, I've kind of lost faith because Scream 7, even if you like it, is way too safe. It's way too conventional. It's doing the things that Scream mocked. This is probably the least Scream movie of them all. It has the Scream logo, the title, but it is so far from the first one and so generic that it's much closer to a Michael Myers or even Jason Friday the 13th film. There are scenes that are straight out, basically just Halloween 2018. And to be fair, I don't think they're hiding it. I think some stuff is just clearly, explicitly copy-pasting Halloween 2018. Now, is that artistic, creative license? I don't know. But yes, the basic setup of the story is Sydney is all grown up. She's traumatized. But it's the daughter who will have to take the responsibility of stopping Ghostface, which is the Halloween story. But they just tweaked it a little bit. You know, Nev Campbell's not a Terminator. She's not Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. So there's small differences, but it is layered and structured with Halloween 2018. So where does this leave us? Well, it will be interesting if they finally leak those scenes. And also, he didn't give details. So how did they shoot this? Is this just green screen? Was Stu going to actually see Sydney in person? Because he, again, without spoiling the whole film, you do see Stu at the end. But I thought that was one of the weaker scenes. I liked a few aspects, though. There were some parts of it that were really powerful. But so, yeah, Stu shows up at the end, but in a weird way. So were they going to go with that, just expanding that? That would be kind of unsatisfactory. Right. And I thought, honestly, this was a joke because I did a few videos on the leaks, but I saw this, but I did not go with it because I thought, like, this can't be real. So there's a scene with Gail and Sydney staring at a phone, and suddenly the phone has Stu. And sort of like, it just looked bad. I can understand, we need to shoot it with the phone, right? We don't want to give people the illusion they're watching. That's fine, but it just looked really small and petty. I mean, it just feels like that's not what would happen. They would be a lot more shocked and scared. They're like, what? He's on the phone. So it was just visually very dodgy. So that's another thing they got to figure out. If they bring back Stu, what form? I'm glad he had scars. I think coming back totally without injury would have been a little weird. But he doesn't need to be too injured. So it's also the look of Stu. He can't look like Matthew Lillard. It's been over a lot of years. We would assume he's been stressed out. Right, his body would have changed naturally. Even if he survived, he would not look exactly the same. Right, he would not look exactly the same. So they have to modify his appearance somehow, but keep it consistent. So, well, that's their nightmare. But just to round it off, yes, Stu coming back has always been on the table. For part 3, for part 7, the Stu fans are not crazy. We're not paranoid. We're not making stuff up. It's always been there in the background. Again, doing it now at this late date with so many Ghostface is strange. You would think, wanting revenge, Stu would be more active. But there's always been theories that there's a third killer, a surviving killer who never gets caught. Again, I think it's all over the place. So they can do it. There's enough there that he was a hidden Ghostface. But they got to be real delicate. At this point, I don't have much faith anymore in Spyglass. I think even Nev coming back is going to be like, okay, you got to do a lot more to persuade me this is going to be good and recommend it. So at this point, no Stu, but they were planning on it twice now.